Welcome to episode number 48 of the Songwriter's Couch. I am your beloved host, Patrick Jaouen, and on the show today, before I introduce my special guest here, I want you to go down there and like and subscribe here, right there. Sometimes it floats around and it moves on me, so you never quite know where it's going to be. But also, after liking and subscribing, go on patrickjaouen.com and buy some of our new merch that we've got. It helps support the show. It helps support the band. We've got phone cases that I've got somewhere. I don't know where it is. Here it is. So here's my phone case with the logo on there. Go get one of these. We've got all sorts of phone options and things. And on today's show, did I get everything, Allie? My whole spiel? All right, I got it, I guess. So on today's show, we've got the one, the only, Miss Frances Lovett. Welcome to the show.
Yay! I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on. So we met a while ago and then drifted apart, I guess, and then came back together finally at an open mic. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the people, what the name of your band is, where they can find all your information, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So, and right in that camera there.
Hello. My name is Frances Lovett. I am in a band called Oldest Daughter. We are a folk indie band, and I also play a bunch of solo stuff. I'm on Spotify. You can find my music, Frances Lovett, Frances. And then you can also find me on Instagram, Frances Lovett Music, on TikTok, and you can also find my band on Instagram at Oldest Daughter Band.
Yeah, and I just followed you, I think, on like a million different things.
Yes, I know. I got a bunch of
maybe an hour ago.
And on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm
also
on YouTube.
Welcome to the show. Glad I finally got a chance to sit down and talk with you, because I have some things specifically I wanted to ask you about.
Well, I'm very excited.
Because you are kind of just... I'm sure you've been doing music or playing music and doing that sort of thing for a while, but you're just kind of getting into the band experience and the gigging and all that, which is an exciting time, but also a kind of learning experience. So I want to get into your head a little bit about how, when it's been going and then what you expected, all that kind of thing. But before we do that, Frances, we have our part of the show where I get to know you personally, I guess, a little bit more, right? Our guest. And the way that I do that is through our Two Truths and a Lie. So we're going to go ahead and start it right now.
Do you get to do it, Two Truths and a Lie, too?
Are you trying to turn the tables on me, Frances? Is that what's happening over here?
I have one, but do you have one?
I might, yeah.
Okay.
If you wish to do that.
I do wish to do that.
We can do that. So we're going to call it a double, is it double Jeopardy? No. What is that? Oh, Daily Double. We'll call it a Daily Double, Two Truths and a Lie.
I'm very excited.
All right, we'll start it right now. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
And give me your 3 statements.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I speak German.
Oh.
I used to be a competitive surfer when I was little. And I play the bassoon.
Jeez. German speaking.
Yep.
Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of surfer? You said professional?
Competitive.
Oh, competitive surfer. I never tried surfing. I've never surfed my entire life. Frances's mom is sitting over the right. That's who I'm looking at, by the way. Competitive surfing, so that's cool. And the bassoon.
Yeah.
Is the bassoon a brass instrument? Or is it a woodwind? Okay. I don't want to ask you because then it might give away if that's the thing. What are you going with, Allie? I can't ask your mom, Frances, because I'm pretty sure. Right? I'm pretty sure she knows.
She may know.
Oh.
Just
because
I'm going to go bassoon.
Bassoon's
because it's music, so it might might be. You're trying to throw me off by doing the bassoon thing because you're a musician. You know, for once, I'm gonna go with what Allie said as well.
The bassoon?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the bassoon is the lie.
Are you locked in on that answer?
Are we locking it in?
All right.
What's that sound there?
Mom, do you want to reveal which one's a lie?
Well, we got to have a drum roll. You want to do the drum roll or?
She was never a competitive surfer.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Well, did you grow up in Rochester? Is that?
I
is that
was
why?
born down south, so
Okay.
that could have been a plausible lie, but I did grow up here, yeah.
All right. So German though.
Yep.
Are you German or you just?
Yeah, but like, no.
Can you say? How do you say? Say something. Say some.
What do
Say
you
my
want me to-
band is playing.
Say thank you so much for having me.
There you go.
Okay. Vielen Dank für vielen Dank für mir diesem wait. I don't know how to say
So not
it.
fluently speaking German, but better than I can.
Yeah.
Better than- so we've gone international now, where now we have an international audience because you've now brought in the German German audience into the into the frame. So you played the bassoon though too,
Yeah,
huh?
I do.
Is it a woodwind instrument?
Yeah, it's a double reed.
All right, it is a nice job.
Yep.
Abby.
You're
A
completely
double reed. What does a double reed mean? So there's
Um,
two of them in there.
right. So picture the clarinet.
Yeah,
See how
my
there's
son
like one
my daughter
side
Maya played the
is
clarinet.
black and then one side has like the wooden part.
Yeah.
The bassoon has like a wood on wood and you blow straight into that and the vibrations make the sound.
Huh. Yeah, I've never tried to play one of those. The saxophone I've tried. Is that a double?
No.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
All right. So is that how you got into starting to play music? Was the
No.
bassoon your first instrument?
Nope.
What was your first instrument?
Ukulele. I played in a bluegrass band when I was 6 years old.
Okay. Do you really want to do the two truths and a lie with me? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything prepared, but I'll give you one real
Okay.
quick. We'll do a quick
Let's
one.
do
So,
it.
all right. Yeah. I was once in an after-school special about drinking, about kids after school drinking, and during that after-school,
This has got to be a truth. This
video.
is very specific.
I snuck beers into it, and I got because everyone was over 21. That was supposed to be high school students.
That's funny.
And I brought that in there. I was in a Rolling Stones video as an extra, and I got to meet Mick Jagger. And I speak fluent French just to get in on your language one.
I hope the fluent French one is the truth, but I feel like it's not.
Well, you know me, so.
Is the second one a lie?
So I speak very terrible French. I know bonjour, comment ça va?
I know parlez-vous anglais.
There you go. So that's about the extent I can count.
Yeah.
Un, deux, trois. Yeah,
Yep.
a little bit of French there. My dad speaks fluent French. Never taught me though.
Yeah.
Never bothered to teach me.
Yep.
Lazy fucking. Yeah. But yeah, I happened to be an extra in a Rolling Stones video. I got to meet Mick Jagger, invited him to one of my shows.
That's so cool.
At the time, I was in Times Square, and some guy's like, "You want $50 to be in a video?" And that's not necessarily something you should do
Right.
in Times Square.
That's cool,
But
though.
I did it,
That's so awesome.
and then got paid $50, and
Love
he
that.
was there. And then what was the first thing I said?
You snuck beers into a.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy thing that happened too. I don't know how I got that. There was like an extra in there. It was in the background or whatever.
That's so funny.
And they were like emptying out beers and having empty, and I'm like, why are you emptying them out? I'll just drink them, whatever. So I snuck some in there. So all right, let's get back to your thing. But you are correct that I do not speak fluent French. So you're a better judge of lying than I guess I am.
Maybe I'm just a better liar.
That is true. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Most people can fool me, though, Francis. It's not that hard to fool me. So, all right, so what you said the ukulele?
Yep.
You started
I
on?
started playing in a bluegrass band. I played bluegrass ukulele, which is I feel like
Wait,
not a
you
lot of people do that.
started in a doing
Yes.
it in a band?
Yes. Well, it was like a band through like Eastman. My dad played the guitar. My brother played the mandolin.
That's right, yeah.
We didn't really we played like some random gigs, but like I was a kid and didn't really understand what was happening. big bluegrass band. We would each like have
How
like
many
a
people were
4-bar
in the-
solo. Oh my god, like 15.
15.
It's like
Holy mackerel! Is
there
that
was
is
a
the
lot of people. In the
was the
band.
washboard part of that? Is that what you're using now? Because the washing machine is.
It
That's what, oh, okay.
it was yeah. There were
See
a
how I
lot of
worked-
people there.
worked that in.
Yeah.
So 15 people, and then each of you got a solo during
mean, like,
the set.
Do you listen to bluegrass?
A little bit.
It's
yeah.
like we sing the main melody, and now we do a bunch of solos.
Yeah, it's kind of like Grateful Dead, but different genre, right? Where you just go on forever.
It's like jazz, but like blue. Yeah, I don't know. It's like country. Yeah, it's
Right on. Did you write any of the music for that, or
no, it was all like folk stuff, but and like folk melodies, I guess. But
was it
like,
original material? Or was it covers?
no, it was traditional, like
Right on.
yeah,
Do you have recordings of any of that stuff? No.
probably. I like how you're participating
That's
in the conversation equally.
We're bringing mom in. We're gonna have to get a camera.
We
with
gave her a microphone. You don't understand how talkative. She's
All right,
more
we're turning
talkative
her.
than me.
We're turning her off. We're turning you off, mom. So 15 people in a
Yeah.
band. Holy mackerel! So I guess that's a good thing though, because being in a band is a difficult thing, and I always equate it to like being married, but to like a bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
And
Leading a band is different.
yeah, and it's difficult to hold it together, like hold everyone in the band together to continue to play, but then
Yeah.
also just scheduling all the usual stuff in
Yep.
bed. But then there's also the personalities and emotions and
Yep.
egos and all that kind of stuff
Yep.
that come into play. So how old were you when you were doing that?
I was 6. I probably
say
quit-
6?
Yeah. 6
That's-
years old. We were required to play an instrument starting at 6.
Huh.
My brother. My brother does not like music anymore. He's like, we're done with
Yeah,
this.
that's so. What's
You
funny
know.
is my daughter is super into performing and all
Yeah.
that, and music,
Yeah.
and singing and writing her own music.
Love that.
My son played drums when he was younger, played saxophone,
Yep.
and then was like, "Yeah, I have no interest in it."
Yep.
So your brother now doesn't
No.
do music or anything at all.
Nope. He
I
did
wonder-
theater with me for a bit, but
I wonder if that's like a rebellion thing. You know, is he a teenager?
yeah,
your brother.
he's
or?
1 year younger than me.
Okay, so then
Yep.
yeah,
It's
maybe
like
maybe
he's-
he'll come back to it in
Perhaps.
in
He's
the
like
future,
video
you know?
games, like sports, and I'm like,
Yeah.
eh.
All right.
Yeah.
So after the bluegrass band,
Yeah.
what made you? Did you go right to okay? I'm going to start my own thing.
No, so I kind of quit ukulele in 4th grade. I started playing the clarinet, switched to bassoon. So I played bassoon since 5th grade, like, yeah. And now I play in an orchestra. It's like keeps my.
So you can read music and all that.
Oh yeah,
You're still playing in an orchestra?
oh yeah. I play in the RPYO,
Oh.
principal chair.
Oh no shit!
Yep. Submitted a bunch of supplementals to all my
Wow.
colleges. Like,
All right,
hopefully it'll get me in.
all right. Where are you looking to go to
Oh god.
school? Do you want to
we'll
even
see.
announce that? You don't have to talk about
Yeah,
that.
it's. I just got into the U of R though, so that makes
Oh,
me
nice.
feel.
All right.
But Ivy Day is coming up, and I'm.
I'll tell
know.
you what though. Are you going to go for music? Is
Oh,
that
no.
your plan?
Neuroscience.
Oh, neuroscience. Ah. See, it's so funny. Like musicians are usually nerds too. Like I just said,
know.
I'm a nerd.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, like so everyone in my band is like has a PhD
Yep.
or they're in like computer forensics. I'm
Yep.
an engineer. I'll do it. You know, like there's like a correlation somehow between
No, definitely.
music and
Especially, like,
the
math.
STEM stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
What so why neuroscience? What is
I
your
really
interest
love
there?
medicine a lot. I did like a medical camp a while ago, and it like blew my mind.
Huh.
I just am obsessed. I'm also just obsessed with surgery, and so like we'll see if I can like do that every day because it's very repetitive.
So
but
do you want to do research or do you want to actually be like surgeon? Is
I'm
that
not
your
really
goal?
sure. Like
Yeah, not sure yet. You
I
got some time.
love all the things that I've done shadowing wise. Like I love the interaction with people every single day, but like we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what it's like in the professional field.
Or you'll become a musician because it's the money,
Exactly.
neurosurgeon,
You know, they're pretty equal.
singer songwriter, equal in pay,
Right. It's like
benefits.
kind of both a
it's
win-win
a tough,
situation.
yeah, it's a tough decision
you know.
to make, which we
Yeah.
were talking about a little bit before,
Right.
before the podcast started. So, but still, you have this desire, which is really what I'm interested on this because we're called the Songwriter's Couch, and
Right.
I kind of started this thing because I have a deep interest in why people, because of course we're being facetious when I say you make a lot of money, especially in the beginning as a musician, right?
Right.
But what made you then decide I want to go out and do you write the songs for your band, or is it
Yeah.
a collaborative thing?
No.
So write songs,
They write the bridges.
perform, put yourself on a stage potentially. You're great
Right. Thank you.
musician, and so no one's going to laugh at you. But potentially, that
yeah.
fear of like everyone's going to be laughing
it's
and
scary.
pointing at you or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
So you're smart, obviously, and you could just say, "Oh, I'm just going to do the neuro,
Yeah.
science thing."
Yeah.
What do you feel is drawing you to continue to do music in that way?
Well, it took a lot for me to share my music. I started writing, I started playing the piano, during COVID. I was, kind of self-taught. Around, middle school, I was, coming home and, I played basketball, and I would come home from practice and, write every single day and, not practice my basketball skills. So I knew sports weren't for me.
So you're a basketball player, too.
Well, not anymore. I was very bad. I think I made one basket the entire season. I was really proud of that one
That's
basket.
pretty good,
Though.
yeah.
My parents were like, "This is amazing."
You're not 7'3", so
right.
you got to give a little.
I was one of the taller kids. It was, you know what? We're moving past that.
I got you.
I'm good
I
at
got you.
music and
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
good
yeah.
at sports. But I really was I'm very perfectionistic, and so my songs were I wasn't ready to share them because they weren't polished, and I was just I don't want to show this to anyone. Even when I was comfortable showing my friends and showing my parents and I was writing I don't know 3 songs a week, I would just pump them out.
Did you feel that those songs were good that you were doing? at the
Well,
time?
there was a period of time where I was no, definitely not.
Yeah.
These are not good, and at first it was a problem of my piano skills, but then I got better at piano. I begged my parents for lessons. I was playing quite a few instruments, and I was dancing intensively and doing theater intensively at this point in time, and so I was please, let me do another instrument. They're oh my god, this kid again, just play video games.
It
but,
really
yeah.
is. It's a weird obsession. I feel that creative people have. It's the thought of I want you to imagine this. We'll do a little thought experiment. We'll do an Einstein thing. Imagine yourself, right? You're a neurosurgeon, okay? But you never get to do theater or music, or even if you're not getting paid for it, let's say now, right? You never get to do that again. How does that feel to you? That you would never be able to do that again.
I'm in jail.
Yeah, right? I'm seeking where that comes from.
Yeah.
Because your brother and you were both in the same family, raised by musicians, right?
Right.
And yet
Well,
your brother,
my parents aren't musicians, actually.
but you said you're
My dad plays guitar, but
not in a does he play terribly? I don't know.
Mom.
Call him out if he's
He actually didn't start playing guitar until he was 40.
Oh, really?
He got a guitar for his 40th birthday, and he decided, I want to attempt to learn this instrument.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was, a musician.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the smartest people that I know. Yet when he's playing the guitar, we have to ask him what song it is because we cannot recognize it. It's just
I got you. So, but where? So then, where do you think that that comes from, for you at least? Or maybe a better
Yeah.
question would be what
so
what
confused.
keeps bringing you back to it, right? Because you could go out and play, and those first couple of songs you wrote, right? You're like, oh, these are terrible.
yeah.
Why did you keep doing it? Does it give you a feeling of?
I think that I used to write a lot of stories, and those are hard to finish. And songs are okay, this is a feeling, and I'm writing about it, and now I'm done. And it's kind of a form of release for me. In the same way, I used to write poetry and stories and plays and stuff, but songs are there, it's done.
I feel like they're a distillation of all those things, of
Yeah.
a play and a book, let's say, or a
Right.
story, and but you have to fit it into
Yeah.
You know, with bluegrass and Grateful Dead, it's 15 minutes, but every other genre of music, it's about 3.5
Pretty
to
much.
5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I also used to I started kind of by writing musicals. Like I would write these like songs from musicals, and then I think I kind of realized like, oh, like, you know, this doesn't have to be like someone else. Like I can write about like my stuff, and yeah.
So, how do you go about writing?
I also have one more answer.
Yeah,
to your
go.
last question. When I started getting really into writing, Olivia Rodrigo had just released her Sour album, and I remember listening to it and being like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And like being obsessed with it, but
Why is that? Why that record?
I don't know. I think that her lyrics were like they're very simple but like very effective, and like everyone was like listening to it. And it's like this is so good, and I was like, well, I can do that. Like I can write a song like that.
Yeah.
And like they were very simple chords, very simple like melodies, and like just her lyrics were just like very specific, and I think like that's why people like really loved them, and I was like, oh well, like yeah, I can do that.
And then as you start doing it, you realize it's a little harder than you think to do that, right?
You just have to get really proficient at your instrument, you know,
Yeah.
unless you're gonna end up writing the same song over and over again.
So, what do you primarily write? Well, let me get into your process.
Yeah.
After this, but what you're saying is something kind of the same way I started writing songs.
Yeah.
I started writing poetry and things like that initially. My older brother, my dad played music.
Yeah.
And they were like great virtuos.
Right.
What is that called? A virtuoso. Like guitar players, like lead guitar players.
Right.
When I started playing music, I started playing bass. But I started writing poetry first, and then moved into songwriting and singing and all that.
Yeah.
And one of my inspirations was the Beatles, of course, which is most people are into that. And John Lennon's songwriting specifically, I was more into. But then Nirvana was kind of coming out at that point, and I found exactly what you're saying. They were simple songs, but they created complex imagery and emotion.
Yeah.
They were 3.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
The words were not, it wasn't big words. It wasn't like the super complicated thing, but they would evoke emotion and have you imagine things and take you on a journey through that. And that always was amazing to me. And like you, I said, oh, if they can do that, I could do that.
Yeah.
And realized quickly that it wasn't that easy to do it. And then I wrote a lot, probably more than you have, because you seem to have more insight than I did at your age. But I wrote a lot of terrible songs. And then eventually I was like, I would come up with songs. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like what I'm writing.
Right.
Do you tend to write from your own personal experience?
Yeah.
Or is it something where you try and write a story to it? Because I'm assuming you started out as a writer, so you probably are lyric focused a little bit in what you do, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll literally write an entire song without even playing an instrument. I'm like, this is how it's gonna sound, and I even know I went to side story, but I went to Berkeley like last summer at like a camp, and we were like had an exercise where we had to write a song in like 10 minutes or something on this prompt of like a lake, and like how I write songs, or sometimes it depends on I guess how I want to start. Sometimes I'll challenge myself to like make the chords first for once in my life. But like I wrote like here's a verse and here's a chorus and here's a verse, and I know exactly how it's gonna sound and I know what chords I'm gonna play for it. And so I was like, okay, can I get up and use the piano? And they were like, what? Like, okay, like sure. And so like I played my whole song for them, like because I just like it comes all together kind of. The lyrics are like the way that I structure it. So,
do you ever give up on a song when you're writing it?
Yeah, but like usually I'm only halfway through, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's not that good. I watched some interview with, or at least it was a snippet of an interview with John Mayer.
Yeah.
And he's talking about writing songs, and he came to some epiphany at some point, like, why do I have to like the song that I'm writing? I'm kind of just the vessel for it, right? It's coming from wherever, and I'm writing it, but I don't have to like the song. And I've noticed that even with my own songs. Sometimes my least favorite song, everyone in the band is like, that's my favorite.
I have the same problem. Yeah.
So you have a full band. How many pieces are in the
7.
the band too? 7. And again, what's the name of the
Oldest daughter.
There you go. Yeah, you got to keep pimping the
Yep.
pimping the stuff. So so how did that group form?
Oh my
Were
gosh.
were
It
you
was
guys
like
all
assembling the
friends, or-
Avengers. Nope. It was like assembling the Avengers. I had a guitar teacher who was like, yeah, you're pretty good now. You need a band. Like, not like I'm great at guitar or anything, but like, you're good at writing songs. You need a band. Like, you need a band. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like, sure. But yeah, I needed a band. So he was like, talk to Anna, who is our fiddle player. He was like, she can play the bass and she can sing and she can play the fiddle and like, you know, she'll be a great person to start. Just like talk to her. And I'm like, okay. I texted her and I was like, would you be interested in this? And she was like, yeah, okay. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
she just took on the
that was
bass.
easy.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, okay, let's meet at Starbucks and we can talk about it. And we met there and I was like, do you want to be in the band? She was like, yes. And I was like, okay, you can go home now.
Did you have a line of musicians out of Starbucks coming into?
Oh my gosh,
song?
I wasn't really sure where to go. But I had this actually at the Brighton Farmers Market. My mom's friend was like, "Hey, my son plays the bass. Like, he's pretty good. Like, you should talk to him. Like, he's in college for jazz bass performance, and you should talk to him." And I'm like, "Okay." Turns out he was like at one of my shows and talked to me for like half an hour about Joni Mitchell. I didn't even realize. And I DM'd him. He was like, "Yeah, I want to be in your band." I was like, "Great." And then I found a girl that I went to school with, who I've been friends with. She plays the piano, and so I ended up getting them 3 together, and we had a drummer, and we had a rehearsal. And the drummer like wasn't great. I had to end up like kicking him out.
Yeah.
It was kind of an awkward experience, but
That's always, yeah. I've had to do that with
Yeah.
drummers a
Yep.
couple of times.
yeah, it's kind of awkward. But
Yeah.
after
It happens.
that,
Especially with drummers.
yeah,
They're a unique breed of
yeah, I know.
of human. Yeah.
They so I because of the RPYO, I ended up getting the principal cello player there interested. I talked to her and I was like, "Do you want to do this?" And she was like, "I don't know, I'm kind of busy." And in this process, I did a good job of being like, "Okay, you'll come to us. Like, if you're the right fit and you're committed, like you'll come to us." So she ended up being like, "Actually, I really want to do this. Like, let's do it."
Huh.
So we ended up having rehearsal. Worked great. Oh my God, some of the best musicians.
How does your We're going to extend this a little bit, Allie, because I kind of want to get into a little bit of this the start. Okay. So when you started rehearsals, and I guess probably still so now,
Yeah.
do you feel like you're the band leader, or is there someone
Yeah.
in the band that's like the musical director, so to speak?
Well, so our guitarist and our bassist. So I definitely am the band leader. Like, I think it's not like, oh, I'm the most lead. It's like, yeah, we've established this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the
Well,
one.
you need
we-
someone
you
that
know,
says
yeah.
this is the
Yep.
decision.
We
and
rehearse in my
things like-
house and like I write the music, and the guitarist. Well, we ended up finding a drummer and guitarist. Great freaking musicians. Everyone's so good. I'm just so infinitely grateful and impressed by them.
Yeah, you guys were phenomenal. That was the first time at the open mic I saw you. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she's got a band together and
Yeah,
made
it's
it
awesome.
made it work.
Weren't even
That's
all
impressive.
of them. It was great. So I write the music. I kind of decide more of like what type of stuff we do. Sometimes more decisions on me than I really expected.
Yeah.
But I'm used to leading. I direct an a cappella group at my school, so like it's not like I'm uncomfortable with it or anything. Like, I completely direct that one. That's like no teachers involved. I arrange for them, and like, so I've been kind of used to that. But
I'm terrible. My keyboard player is kind of the music director, and I'm not great at harmonies. I didn't grow up in like a choir and doing all that stuff, and so I always fail my harmonies. And he always yells at me. He's British, so it's very like, and he was in the military. He's very harsh with me about. He's like, "Come on, Patrick, what's your?"
that is
Yells at
so
me.
funny.
But he's our musical director because of that. He's very technical. He knows what he's talking about.
Right.
I mean, I write the songs or whatever, but then
Yeah.
I leave it on him almost to be the bad guy too. Sometimes.
Gotcha.
Just
Yeah.
as a tip. Sometime if you're like the leader, then you're the rah person
Yeah.
too before a show. Get
Yeah.
someone else to be the bad guy in the band.
Interesting.
Like
Yeah,
your mom over there, get her to.
It's so funny. I think all of our band members are like so serious. They're like so like this about their music that I'm like, okay, guys, like have fun, like
Yeah, you gotta
like
have fun,
smile.
too.
And so like I don't even feel like there needs to be someone that's like, come on, guys, like learn your parts. It's like they're gonna come in and freaking do it.
Yeah.
But our guitarist and bassist have perfect pitch, so I basically bring the songs to them, and I'm like, this is supposed to what it sounds like. and you reproduce it, and they just make parts, and the drummer's amazing, and
So,
yeah.
all right. So when you bring something to the band,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm supposing, what percentage of the songs are written by you? Is it 100%, or is it?
I mean, we do like
At
a
the
few
moment?
covers, and I'll arrange those. So like I'll arrange for the strings, and then guitar, bass, and drums will like pretty much make their own part on the spot.
Right on. But the
Yeah.
the original stuff.
Oh,
is,
yes, yes,
that's
100% mine.
all yours. Okay.
They sometimes
So-
I don't write bridges, and then we write them together.
That's
but
always me too. I hate
I
hate
can't
writing
do it.
bridges.
I can't.
Usually I just slap them together at
Yep.
the last moment.
I know.
And it's always E major to A minor.
Yep.
Every single
Exactly.
time. Like
This
16
is, I
of my
think,
songs
every single
have
one of my
that
bridges.
as the bridge.
Yep.
Is it the same? Like
E major, F to F minor. Yep, it's classic.
yeah, it's I don't
classic
know why
combo.
that's the
It's
case.
just like, yep.
So, but what do you do? So you bring a kind of semi-finished, except for the bridge, of course.
Most of them are finished,
Song
and like I'm like, here's the vibe. The other day I like was like, I want it to be this beat and this, and like sometimes they're like completely finished. I'm like, here's the studio recording that I did with this other band,
Yeah.
and you're gonna reproduce this.
Yeah.
But like sometimes, and we'll like really run through the song and like, okay, here's a moment where we need to be quieter. This is a moment we're gonna have a hold, and we're gonna do this and this, and they are just the fastest musicians. They just pick it up immediately. We play it all the way through. It's amazing. It's
Right
like,
on.
yeah, so impressive.
So, all right. So you bring it, and then do they tend to write their own parts, or you
Yeah.
kind of direct them?
I mean,
where
I direct sometimes, but I just totally let them.
trust them. That's something that I found too. Like, because if you take too much control over it, you lose some of the dynamics of like the
Yeah.
other members bringing whatever their
Yeah.
special
The
sauce
thing is, like,
to it.
I'm like, I can play all of the instruments besides drums, but like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
bad at
as
drums,
proficient as in them as anyone else is. And like, for the guitar parts, I'll usually like sing if there's like a riff. I'm like, this is what you could do. Because the issue is that other people have is like, they like the things that they lack are like maybe like ideas for riffs or like different things, and I'm full of that. But like, I'm much more proficient in singing than any other thing. I mean,
Yeah.
bassoon, but like, I'm best at singing, and
Better
like,
at singing.
I'll teach them harmonies and
Do you?
stuff. But,
So, give me a couple of names of some of your songs. Give me some titles.
well, on Spotify, I have a song called "Smoke and a
like it,
Beer."
Yeah, keep.
On Spotify,
Promote it.
I have a song called "Smoke and a Beer," and everyone thinks it's about me smoking and drinking beer, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's about someone else smoking and drinking a beer, and I'm like, I wouldn't like if you want that over me, then we're not together anymore.
Right.
So just to,
And is that from? I know moms. Is that from personal experience, or that's?
it's a very literal song.
Okay. I gotcha. So
Yes.
is it? And
Yes.
I wonder sometimes because
Yeah.
you're younger than I am. I remember back then when I first started, just slightly,
A little, like 1 or 2 years.
like 3 or 4 times younger. I think that. But so I remember struggling with. How do I say? So wanting the song to be good and cool, but also knowing that I had to really be vulnerable in it,
Yep.
and putting that out there. And as you said, it's a literal song, right?
Yep.
So that can sometimes be scary, especially if you play it and maybe the person could be in the room even, or they could hear it, and with social
Right.
media you share it, and they may know,
Yeah.
hey, that's about me, or that's
Yep.
about this experience or whatever. Do you struggle at your age is kind of what I'm asking
Yeah.
with being like letting yourself be vulnerable with your songwriting, or is that, and especially your mom's here, so I keep looking over, but but like letting some of that stuff out, like are you concerned at all, okay, what is my mom going to think about this thing, or
Yeah.
does that come into your songwriting is what I mean?
I definitely struggled at first because I felt like, I don't know, like I was dramatic or something for writing about these experiences. But like the more and more I play it, people like really relate to my stuff, especially like girls.
Yeah.
Like there are some songs that people will literally DM me on Instagram, and they're like, "This touched my soul. Why is this not out on
Yeah.
Spotify?" And I'll like send them a recording, and I'm like, "Here, like, sorry, like it's not out on Spotify, but
Yeah.
here's a demo." Like, and it's really cool. And I'll play at my shows, and my friends will literally come up to me after, and they're like, "Was this song about this person? Was this song about this person?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but like I'm a very open book. Like my friends know everything about my life, and so it's never like I'm very open with my parents too. I feel like it's never like, oh, like I didn't know that you guys like kissed.
Yeah.
But like
I think
you
though
know.
too. I think some of it probably is being a guy at that age is a little bit more.
Yeah,
You got to be
yeah,
reserved,
but
and I don't have
yeah,
any emotions. I
yeah,
don't have any, whatever. I think maybe it's a little
right.
bit easier, but
I think that I also really try to be very clever in the way that I explain what happened. Like it's never like sulky as much. And so I think like when I first started writing songs, it was very much like you broke my heart and
yeah.
like, but now it's kind
Taylor
of
Swift
like
still does that.
right. I know.
She's 46.
Yeah.
How old is Taylor Swift now?
I don't think she's
77.
40s.
She's 78 now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I don't know. I think like a lot of my songs are like very clever and like very like dissy rather than like, oh, like this person was the love of my life and they left me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that maybe
So not so cliche. You try and kind of.
yeah, I think that maybe is why I'm like more comfortable.
So I know we're getting the 5-minute thing here, but so I want to ask one other thing, and
Yeah.
I think we should have you on again. One, I know you have some stuff on Spotify. Do you have a new release or something that's coming up?
Oh my gosh.
Are you working on a project right now?
Yeah, I have an album that I'm working on that my mom is saying it's an EP, Frances,
Yeah.
because we need to get something out. But
So like 5 songs, give or take.
we
6
have
songs.
like about like 13 that need to go out at some point, but not all of them are finished at the same time, so it's probably going to turn into an EP.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. There's just like
So
much
whenever
college
that
stuff.
comes out,
Yeah.
we'll have you back on, and we'll
Yes.
help you promote that too.
Awesome.
But one of the things I wanted to ask, just because again, you're kind of in the early stages of going out and gigging
Yeah.
and all that, and now that I know that you've been on stage and performing since you were 6, probably this isn't a relevant question, but there's like stage fright and things like
Right.
that people have to kind of overcome in order to do,
Yeah.
perform on stage. Have you felt that one in the past? And then how did you kind of get over it? And then 2, do you still feel that at times now?
I definitely would get really scared doing solo shows. Well, first of all, I would do shows for 2 hours, like a little too long.
Yeah.
But I would just get scared that people wouldn't
You
show
hear that,
up.
venues? 2 hours is too long. 3 hours is way too fucking much for $150. You got it?
Yeah.
Venues? Thanks.
That's
dude.
exhausting.
Yeah,
Like
it's too much. Too much.
Yeah.
If you're Elton John and you're playing to like 150,000 people
Right.
in
You
a
can do
in a
it.
stadium, all right, give them 3
yeah,
hours.
Exactly.
you know.
People paid a lot for that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would get scared that no one would show up. That was mainly my concern. But like with my band, I literally haven't had like an ounce. Like I think that I didn't really understand how much support that would like really add. And like I just have never felt like worried. Like I totally trust them.
No, you don't
know?
get stage fright at all. A little bit of like, let's see what happens in this. No. Huh.
Small child who plays and music.
I am like the most social person ever. I really like performing a lot. But I did perform recently for like a school chorus concert, and that was like 800 people, like full auditorium. Like that was kind of crazy.
I feel like if I take a little break from it for a little while,
Mm.
even a month or so, I get a little bit the first time, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Plus, I drink a little whiskey or something, and eases it. I mean,
Yeah.
not that that's
I
the way
think
to go.
that
But
I always forget, like, if my band is like, I'm like, are we gonna be good? Like, if we haven't rehearsed in a while, then I'm like, oh yeah, like we got
Yeah.
this. And
So
it's like
sometimes it's funny too because I think something that I would share is that I actually am still learning. Sometimes you have a show, and I'm sure you've had this experience where you don't feel like it was up to your standard of like this. It should have been this way,
right.
and you're kind of disappointed in the performance.
Yeah.
But yet everyone is coming up to you and be like, "Oh, it was great," and you don't agree with
Yeah.
that statement. Recently, I've gone back to performances where I felt like that because we video record and
Right.
we get some audio stuff, and I've been appreciating like it after the fact.
Yeah.
And I think we're very. You mentioned that you were kind of a perfectionist, so I think we're harder on ourselves
Yeah.
than the people
No,
that are there to
definitely.
see us.
And
You
when
know,
you're
or-
live, like people really remember the best moments.
Yeah.
Like they're not like, like I think that people brush it off. I had a show where like I literally forgot the lyrics multiple times to like all my songs, and
Yeah.
there are just some where I'm like, oh, I have performed better, but like Everyone loves it.
There's shows where Steven Tyler doesn't say actual words through an entire song and just mumbles stuff. So, and he's got a big screen with his lyrics and stuff on stage. So everyone that's worried about like having an iPad, some reference point to get back to lyrics, that's all nonsense. The big stars. Elton John, speaking of, has a cutout in his piano where he has a screen in the piano where he's got the lyrics there. He's getting up in age too, but anyway, so one piece of advice you would give to someone just starting out that's going to gig, because I didn't get into that, but maybe in the next conversation we'll get into what your experience with booking and venues and all that kind of stuff is.
She can be in that conversation too.
But what piece of advice would you give to someone maybe that's hesitating getting up on stage or doesn't think their songs are ready?
Your songs aren't ready. Your songs aren't going to improve until you play them for other people. You're in an echo chamber before you show other people. And like that doesn't mean that everyone's going to say, "Oh my god, your songs are bad and you need to improve them right away." But like if you want to get better, then you have to share them with other people. And that's what I've learned. I remember my mom telling me like this is like I remember thinking like, oh no, I'm very good at songwriting and like we're done. Like I don't have to release music. I was very resistant about that. Yeah. That was the thing that they really had to push me. And she contacted one of her friends that like lives in Nashville, and her friend was like, oh no, writing songs is like, you haven't even started step 1. Like step 1 is like releasing your music, and then step 2 is like revising the music that you're about to it's like you have to get better, and you can't just write music and think that it's good on your standard, you know, if you want to get really good. And like the one song that you think is like really, really great doesn't mean like it's you're gonna write more, and it's gonna get better, and you can't. These are not your children, you know. You should have at least.
Should make a T-shirt that says that these are not. You should have
at least like 100 children.
Are not your children.
Yeah, like you should have so many children that you're.
That's what I did with my children. I started with one, wasn't too good.
Yeah,
you know, moved on. I'm sorry. I'm just. Yeah. You know, you just got to keep trying. Eventually, you get one. That's all right. No, but I'm in 100% agreement on that. And here's something that I'll say to that too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's something that I've learned because finishing something and releasing it, okay, it's out there, and then maybe you could have improved on it, or maybe you could have taken forever and never put it out there too, right? Which I think that's worse.
I think that also in college, I was deciding so much between music and medicine, and I just wasn't sure. But this was before I even had a band and was start gigging, and I didn't know what it was like. Like writing music is in your house alone and not showing anyone isn't what it's like to be a musician. Yeah, that's like what it's like to be scared of sharing your music. Yeah, and like you have to gig and share it with people and like know what it's like to be on the stage, to know like if you like that. And I love it, but like also, whether or not people react to it. Right? Because you get some feedback, even if you're not directly asking them, do you like this part or that part? Yeah. If you see them tapping their foot or singing along or getting up and dancing, that's pretty good feedback that like, oh, that's probably a route I should continue to go down with my songwriting. I think that like it helps you decide what you like. And I also felt like very satisfied by what I did here. And I realized like, I don't know if I need like so much more. I don't know if I want to like. I like the level that I'm at, and I want to pursue neuroscience. Yeah, which, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, Queen was full of doctors and all that too. So so you could do both at the same time. So friends, okay, so we're gonna wrap it up because otherwise Allie's gonna beat me up because we're running out of time. But before we do that, can you cut to my camera real quick? I want to say once again, please like, subscribe. It really helps out moving the channel along. Thank you to everyone that does watch. Don't forget to download our products. Don't forget to go to our website, patrickjaouen.com, and get some merch. And before we go, I'd like you to just one more time, please. Phenomenal musician. She's just starting out, but it doesn't feel like she's just starting out. So trust me, if you download her music, you will like it. Yes. So let them know where to do that. I said that it was only on Spotify. It's on all streaming platforms. Well, go to every streaming platform except for Spotify because they pay garbage. So go to every other one so that you get some money out of it too. Frances Lovett music on everything. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Oldest Daughter Band on Instagram. Go follow us, go like all our stuff, and come see us live. We're playing at Boulder Copy on April 5th. Oh, April 5th. All right, that'll be far enough in the
the past. And we'll put all your links to all your stuff. So
Awesome.
send that to me.
Yep.
And we'll talk about logistics, some other stuff
Perfect.
afterwards. But go download her stuff, please, and come out to a show if you're here in town.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show, and I'm
Thanks
sure
so much for having me.
there's huge things in your future.
Thank you.
You're a very talented musician, and to be a songwriter and doing it at the level I feel you're doing it at it's only going to get better and better as you
Appreciate
go
it.
on. So, thank you all for listening and watching and all that to the Songwriters Couch, and what's the say bye. Say goodbye, France.
Bye.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
okay.
they are saying bye.
No, you're saying
Oh, okay.
you're saying goodbye. Bye, guys. See you on the next show.